What's up YouTube, Mr. LawMSC here, and today we're going to talk about enchanting. What should you enchant? Why should you enchant? How should you enchant? Kind of all the playthrough basics of all of that. So first off, what is enchanting? If you go to the occultist and you go to this far right side, there is this enchant option. And what it does is there is one affix on an item, a rare or legendary item, that you can replace. You can replace it as many times as you want, but the cost will go up and up as you do so, so eventually it starts getting a little ridiculous. Now, how does this work? You put item in, and you can see the cost down here, and then you just pick whichever affix that you want changed, and you press enchant, right? Oh, I should move my camera over here. Right? And you press enchant. Now, the bottleneck for this will be these forgotten souls, okay? You find these during Helltide, and the chest of mystery items or whatever is going to be your best source of this. Essentially, you want to go find the boss, kill the boss in Helltide, and then go find that chest of mysteries and open that chest. Between these two, you should be able to get like 20-something souls. You can then, after like the halfway mark, I think there's another mystery chest and boss that'll appear like on the other side or something, whatever. You can do it like twice. Also, if you open up just the regular chest there, then sometimes, or the other chest, like the chest for amulets or light wands and stuff like that, light weapons, then those will sometimes drop some forgotten souls as well. And there is a clickable, I forget what it is, I forget the name, but there's like a little red, one of the red like skull clickables or something has a chance to drop forgotten souls as well. So regardless, you get these in the Helltide areas. They're quite important because you're going to use these for enchanting and upgrading all of your gear. So I definitely recommend going and getting some of these throughout the game as you're playing. Now, again, we'll go here and we'll look at an item. If an item has 3 affixes that you absolutely love, then you should be really happy because getting that 4th affix, you can just enchant for it, which is a great way to get perfect gear. Now, or at least 4 affixes that you love. Now, something that I would say is generally the top affix that you want, you're not going to want to try and enchant for. For instance, over here, we'll go here. Cooldown reduction is the top affix that I wanted on this helmet right here. I got 14 out of 14.6% maximum, so I got a near max roll on my cooldown reduction, which is fantastic. However, when enchanting, I'm going to enchant. You see, I did get a perfect roll on my enchant, but when I'm enchanting, I'll get like 4.6 to 10.9% total armor, or whatever the roll of the affix is. So you may get a really bad roll on the affix you want, and then you're like, well, it's okay, but it's not exactly that, you know. So generally, I would say use that for your 2nd, 3rd, or 4th affix that you really want. But the first one that you really, really are like, yes, this is the affix I want, I would generally say try not to enchant that on. But anyways, let's get into it. So I'll come over here, and let's say that this has 3 affixes I really love: Core Skill, Lightning Critical Strike, and Damage to Distant. But I don't like this one. I can go here and I can press enchant. You can see it costs 238,000 gold plus these materials. And it will give me 2 options now: damage to injured or intelligence, or no change. Now, if I pick one of these 2 top ones, the cost will go up, okay? If I pick this down below, the cost won't go up, I believe, as much, but you can still see now it costs 1.2 million for my next enchant, right? This is quite expensive. I do believe that is the case, though, that the cost goes up less. However, if I did want intelligence or something there, I could choose intelligence, and then we would just have intelligence, and it would be fantastic. So then you would see that the blue little node right there that says lucky hit up to 16% chance, that is now the node that whenever I enchant, if I push this button again, it will automatically roll on that top node. I can never pick another affix to roll on for this staff, okay? So, is there a better way to enchant? Yes, there is. The best way to enchant is to start when the item is rare. If the item is just legendary, then that's just how it is. But if you start with a rare item, you can see I've already rolled maximum life onto this, and yet the next enchant cost is only 487,000 gold. That's because I haven't put an aspect. If I put an aspect on this, it will now cost more. So let's say I really want to get vulnerable damage on this. I can roll again. Okay, I didn't get it. No change. It's 556,000. Roll again. 11 to max mana is actually not bad. I could consider that, but we'll say it's not what I wanted. 626,000. Lucky hit chance is decent, but that is a low roll of lucky hit chance. Again, I don't get the materials back here. And there we go. We got the vulnerable damage that we were looking for. We can replace it, and now we can take a look. And so we can see now this ring has critical strike chance, vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, and damage to crowd-controlled enemies. This is a very solid ring. It has maximum roll on the critical strike damage and the critical strike chance right there. The vulnerable damage is lower, but, you know, it's not everything's going to be perfect. And the damage to crowd-controlled enemies is also perfect, which is pretty solid. So this is a solid ring. I've now rolled the affix I wanted. And again, it's cheaper for each reroll than that dang staff on its first reroll afterwards. I could re-roll this ring and get a higher vulnerable damage affix, potentially. But it'll keep costing more and more gold and one additional Forgotten Soul every single time that I do. Yes, I have 71 million, so I could do this if I wanted. I feel like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty happy with where it is. If you really want to perfect everything, then that could be something that you do, where you re-roll it, re-roll it, re-roll it, try, you know, 5, 10, 15 more times, whatever it is, till I get vulnerable damage, and maybe I get one that's like 22% or 23%. Whatever it is right there. So that is how you can enchant. And then after that, you can take a look and shift over to putting whatever legendary aspect it is that you want on there. And that can help you decide, right? So now I can look at, okay, which ring do I really want to adjust? This one is decent. It has a bad roll of damage to crowd control and low vulnerable damage. This one's got better vulnerable damage, but a bad roll of critical strike damage. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. I'd have to, you know, really think about which one I like. Again, item power is pretty worthless here. You can also upgrade the item if you want, and it will be totally fine there. So I can always go over here and upgrade at our jeweler. It doesn't matter what order you do it with that, I'm pretty certain. You can do the upgrade and legendary aspect piece whenever you would like, in whatever way. But remember, getting to 4 stars in the upgrade is pretty, it just like costs like nothing. The only upgrade that actually matters is 4 to 5, where it's going to cost these Forgotten Souls, because these are the expensive pieces. And then we can take a look and we can see this is our new ring right here, and we can actually compare things over. So this has higher critical strike chance right there, lower vulnerable damage, higher critical strike damage, and much better crowd control, damage to crowd control compared to damage to frozen, which won't happen as often. And then same thing over here, better critical, same vulnerable, better critical strike damage, and better damage to crowd controlled. So, you know, again, you have to kind of make the decision which way you want to go with it. And then I can put the aspect on now and put that ring in. So whichever way you want to do all of those pieces, that's kind of all just on you, however you want to do it. But hopefully this gives you at least a general sense about how you can roll and re-roll. And I just want to go back over here now that we've upgraded it really fast. Just go over here really quickly and show you again. If we go here and put this ring in, so it actually, wow, it actually is a little bit more expensive now that we've upgraded the ring. I did not think that it was actually more expensive on the upgrade, but it looks like it is. So apparently do this even before you upgrade the ring. Wow, Just a little bit. It's not like crazy more expensive, but it did boost the cost a little bit there. And again, it'll show you what is going to be replaced by another random affix. So I could continue farming it, trying to get a higher vulnerable damage roll if I wanted. But of course, that is going to cost a little more. So there you go for enchanting. Get the item that you like that has 3 affixes you love, including generally the best affix at a good roll. That would be my main suggestion. Number 2, before you upgrade it, before you enchant it, or before you put a legendary aspect on it, find the enchantment that you want. Find the affix that you want and roll for that. Then you can, once you have that, you can upgrade it all the way, and then you can add whatever aspect that you want as well on top of it, and then you're good to go. So hopefully that was helpful. That gave you a little bit of information on enchanting. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Mwah! Kisses to you all. Have a good one, YouTube. Peace, everybody.